The old man shows up saying that the people can't stand up against the cruelty of nature. The scene opens in a small green area where two girls, Furiosa and Valkyrie, pick fruits. Furiosa notices a group of raiders cutting a horse to collect fresh meat. Furiosa asks Valkyrie to hide in the bushes until she comes back. Furiosa goes down and starts to cut the bike's fuel pipe, as she doesn't want to go them back. She is caught by the raiders, and Furiosa whistles to inform her community. Her mother recognizes the whistle and runs to save her daughter. Australia is a radioactive wasteland, and the green place of many mothers is one of the last remaining areas with fresh water and agriculture. As the raiders leave taking Furiosa, Mary and General Vuvolini start chasing them. Vuvolini shoots one rider and the second one tries to take his bike. Mary stabs him. She rides on his bike and Vuvolini wants to go with her, but Mary asks her to stay. Vuvolini says none must live to tell of this place, and Mary leaves. Furiosa gains consciousness and another rider is shot dead by Mary. Two remaining riders quickly grab the stuff from the dead one's bike and Furiosa cuts the fuel pipe with her teeth. One biker ties a tire to a bike so that no one can see them because of the dust. Mary reaches there and changes the fuel tank and the tire. Due to the leakage, a bike runs out of petrol and they both hear Mary's bike sound. One man asks Furiosa who is chasing them, and the other starts to leave but is stopped by his friend. While they are busy in arguments, Furiosa cuts her rope and runs. They catch her before she runs too long and leaves. The next day, Mary reaches the raiders' area known as the Wasteland. She manages to shoot one of them, but the other reaches his camp. His name is Toe Jam, and stopped by the one-eye man, he tries to snatch Furiosa, but he says, "I only want to talk with Dementus." Toe loudly says, "I got her from the green place and I only speak to Dementus." As he leaves to talk to Dementus, Furiosa stacks wood in a tire to make him fall. An old man is telling Dementus about the new bike. They are interrupted by the one-eye man who introduces Furiosa to Dementus and says she is from Greenland. Their organic doctor checks her and tells Dementus that she is perfectly fine. Dementus asks the man about the location and he calls Toe. Toe's neck is bleeding due to the fall, and before telling the location he dies. Dementus talks to Furiosa and asks her slave to take care of her. Seeing a sandstorm coming, Mary dresses like the raiders and heads out to save her daughter. A woman is cleaning Furiosa and suddenly Mary arrives and kills the guards. She is just about to kill the woman, but she begs for her life and Mary leaves taking her daughter. After they leave, the woman informs the others about the escape. Dementus starts to chase them while the mother tells her daughter to run away and decides to make a final stand. Furiosa rides away and Mary starts killing them. Dementus has too many people and finally catches her while listening to the gunshots. Furiosa runs back for her mother. Dementus ties up her mother and asks her about the location. Furiosa remains quiet and Dementus forces her to open her eyes to see her mother dying. Days later, Dementus catches the leader of his opponent's tribe and tells his people to fight if they want to join my army. He ties the leader with the bikes and tasks his team to fight each other. A fight ensues and Dementus tells Furiosa to close her eyes to avoid seeing the blood, but she doesn't blink. After the fight, the bikers stretch the man's body into pieces. Dementus's caravan continues its journey and the old man tells Furiosa that you should write on your arms, it will sharpen your memory. At night, Furiosa carries the old man's belongings and makes stars on her arms indicating the way to her home. On the way, they see the red flare and go to find the person who shoots it. They find a man whose skin is colored with white sulfur. He tells them that he knows the place where food, water, and green land are available at the top of the rocks. Dementus approaches there with his slaves. He starts telling the people to join his army if they need a good life and good food. Listening to his speech, a lord named Immortan Joe comes out. He wears a skull mask to look more deadly. Dementus takes him as a joker and makes fun of him. Immortan asks him to choose 2 death warriors among his assembled soldiers. Dementus's special man Smeg chooses the 2 warriors. The warriors jump on the mine which blasts. Dementus is shocked to see this, and Immortan's sons Rictus and Scrotus announce Dementus's death and leave. A brutal fight starts and Dementus watches his people dying. They attack Furiosa's carriage and take her into the pit. Dementus saves her and runs away from there with his remaining slaves. After that, they see Immortan's food truck going to Gastown to exchange food for fuel. Dementus plans with the Octobos to attack the Gastown. They kill the truck drivers and rob the oil tanker. Dementus colors Octobos's man to trick the guards into entering the Gastown. They proceed to Gastown and Dementus attacks Octobos's people on the way. Seeing that, the guards think Immortan's truck is under attack and open the fort's gate. The fort lord sees Dementus' army all over and knows they are played by the trick. Dementus sends the Gastown's Lord Finger to make a settlement with Lord Immortan. Immortan let him come inside and agreed to deal with him in some circumstances. Dementus asks him about his demands, and Immortan says he will keep Furiosa and send them food once in 10 days. They make the deal and Dementus leaves calling himself great. Furiosa goes inside where many women welcome her. These women are Immortan's wives as he chose women so he can produce healthy babies. One woman gives birth to a baby but the baby is born with a disability and they kill the woman and the baby too. Rictus has the wrong feelings for Furiosa, and she walks away. Furiosa cuts her hairs and keeps the peach seed with her. Rictus takes her to the room where he sees her hairs are gone and she runs away. Rictus goes to find her but she hides under the bridge and he throws her hair which hangs on the branch. As time passes, the branch turns into a green tree, and Furiosa starts working as a foreman. They start making a war rig truck so they can transport easily. A Fury Road expert, Praetorian Jack, also joins them. Nobody knows that Furiosa is a girl because she remains quiet all the time. The truck is ready for transport and on the way, they are attacked by the Octobos gang. After a long chase, they manage to survive while the truck is also damaged. Furiosa confronts Jack who kicks her out of the truck and drives away. Furiosa looks on helplessly and starts moving from there. After some time Jack comes back and agrees to support Furiosa. Later, Jack and Furiosa go to the bullet farm where they exchange food with weapons and bullets. The farm's lord asks Jack to tell Immortan to set a meeting before Dementus makes another move. Jack gives Furiosa a gun and says after a few days we will be out of here. During the sleep, Furiosa sees visions of her mother and wakes up in panic but Jack calms her. The next morning they go to Gastown to get petrol where Dementus refuses to give them petrol in exchange. His men attack Jack's team but they manage to escape. Immortan is furious to see them returning empty-handed, while Rictus and Scortus talk about getting revenge on Dementus. Immortan tasks Jake and Furiosa to go to Bullet Farm so they can attack the Dementus in full preparation. Jack stitches her wounds and they both come close. Jack and Furiosa set off with their caravan and along the way they plan to escape. Jack loads the bike in the car and asks Furiosa to get in the car. They arrive at Bullet Farm and are attacked. Furiosa starts running away and Jack moves forward with his truck. Furiosa changes her mind and comes back in for Jack and attacks with a sniper. We see the Dementus that have now taken over Bullet Farm. Furiosa manages to save Jack and they both drive away and Dementus starts chasing them. Dementus catches them and asks his man to torture Jack. They torture Jack and tie Furiosa with the truck. Later, Dementus stops his man and sees the girl's hand hanging and she escapes. A lone man watches from afar as Furiosa struggles back to the citadel. She tells Immortan how the Dementus killed Jack and now he's coming here with his army. They see that the gas town is on fire but Furiosa tells them that it's a trick so that we go to save the gas town and he can take over here. Now they plan to fool the Dementus and decide to send a team of their own to Gastown. Dementus sees them going to Gastown and starts moving towards Fort and Scortus turns his convoy. Dementus is lured into a trap and the war boys crush the horde in a 40-day war. Having lost her path home, Furiosa shaves her head again, replaces her arm with a mechanical prosthetic. Furiosa takes the vehicle and drives away to take revenge on Dementus. After an extended chase, Furiosa subdues Dementus in the desert. She beats him until he recognizes her and tells her, "You are just like me." Dementus tries to make a deal but she punishes him in many ways. Furiosa imprisons Dementus at the citadel and uses his living body as fertilizer to grow a peach tree from her mother's seed. Joe promotes Furiosa to Imperator and gives her command of a new war rig. She meets Joe's 5 breeder wives in the vault where Joe once held her prisoner. The 5 wives hide in Furiosa's rig. Thanks for watching and make sure to press the subscribe button for more amazing videos.